Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so this is kind of a continuation of the breakup, but it's pre breakup. And this is also advice on things to do while you are getting ready to break up with whoever you're dating or even ending friendships. Because if you have a friendship or if you're married to somebody, well, married is different because they don't technically, unless you have a good prenup, they don't really owe you money. And or with your business is separate from, like, yeah, go get a prenup. I have said this in quite a few videos, but like, and some churches are against it. I don't It's like, hey, if you are hardcore religious and your pastor tells you no, don't get a prenup because marriage is forever, while the divorce rate is around 50%, while, like, one of the top reasons why women are eliminated from this earth is because either husbands, they're religious too and they don't believe in divorce, so the only way they can end or move on to another woman without divorcing is eliminating the woman, or they're controlling and they don't want you to leave the house, but then you want your freedom. And so then they see you being liberated and leaving, so then they feel threatened and, like, well, etc., etc. But one thing, if you are not married, I am so thankful because I was in a 5 year and 7 year long term relationships. Lockakey was the 5 year, and Mr. No Heart was the 7 year. In my 5 year relationship, I thought that I could just break up with my ex, and over time, he would pay me back the money. And I knew it was going to be difficult because how he started our relationship. He literally blackmailed me into the relationship because he stole from, well, go and catch up because I tell the whole story, but literally he threatened his life if I did not become his girlfriend. And for 90 days, he would call me telling me, "You're my girlfriend, right? If you're not, you know what I'm going to do to myself, right?" Yeah, and then when I threatened to, or not threat, well, no, yeah, when I told him I was going to break up with him and I was done and I can't do this anymore, and how he tricked me or like blackmailed me and conned me into the relationship, he would then go and either try to punch holes in the walls or tell me he was going to do that again to himself, or he was going to do that to a family member. And yeah. So I thought it was safer for me to get out of the relationship and then ask him for the money he owed me. Because there was a time where I was working and hustling, but I wasn't making enough to live on my own, so I was still stuck at home. But I was at least trying to get my life together. And it's like he even was like, "Oh, we're going to get married. I'm going to save money and put it in an envelope." Ha ha ha. I knew we were on. He didn't know that I knew we were never going to get married, but it's like I just wanted him to save money. But I, like, how many times did I see that envelope empty so that he could go spend it on special candy? But then, like, he got fired from one job because he was stealing from the company. Like, I didn't know yet, but I do now. Or later, like near the end of the relationship, when he showed me that he was. And like, I remember, like, just like, how did you do this that entire time? But the way that I didn't know is that after he would come home from the job, he had a bag with him, and Like he always like went into the garage after work. And yeah, he was putting the metal and steel or whatever into the garage every day after he got home from work before he would see me or whatever. But then he needed a new job. I loaned him money, big for gas money. But then he was like, "Oh, I have a job interview." After breaking up, I realized, "Oh, you didn't have a job interview." He went to his special candy dealer and got special candy, then went to a friend's house and consumed special candy. And then, like, I always knew that he looked funny when he came home. So part of me was just like, okay, did he do that after his job interview? And I was like, because they're going to do a special candy test on him. And then I realized, no, there was no job interview. It's like all he did was the special candy. And so I ended the relationship. But it's like, I thought, like, and just know, yeah, your safety does come first. So if someone wants to borrow money, if someone wants money from you, have them sign a piece of paper. It's like, I kind of knew better, but at the same time, like when I said no, that's when he would threaten to punch holes and do all of the, I don't know if that's ABUSC. I think it is, like mental ABUSC. Because he never threatened to harm me, like only once, but that's like he was, ooh, I don't know how much special candy he consumed that night, but anyway, your your safety comes first. And so, like, if you can have them fill something out, even print, like, part of me feels like maybe I need to even team up with a lawyer and like create something to put on Etsy. So like if you're in a relationship and they want to borrow money, you can just print that off and then like even have them sign, initial, put the amount and the date and everything like that. So, but yeah, it's like when I was trying to get my money from him, he decided the only way you're going to get your money back is if you're back with me, if we get back together, and you have to sleep with me a certain amount of times. Yeah, yeah. What an amazing guy, right? But while he was blackmailing me to get back with him, for me to get, I just wanted my money. I didn't want him. I broke up with him. I was so happy to be away from him. But he was looking for his high school sweetheart, no, his middle school sweetheart at the same time. He found her and impregnated her while looking for me. And so then it's like once he realized I just wanted my money, that's when he passed the phone to her and told her that I won't stop calling. And I'm like, once you pay me back the money, you will never hear from me again. And it's like Mr. No Heart still owes me money. I don't call him because it's like I like once I get myself together to pick up like cuz I save the text messages that he still has some of my property. Yeah, do that too. Yeah. Save text messages. Like I've said, like throughout all of these episodes, I know my episodes are long or longer than the shorter content, but I always try to make sure I slide in as much information that I've learned throughout my dating life, education life, just my life period, but it's like always try to have as much proof as possible. Throughout my life, I have learned all so many areas where I needed proof. Even with my health, I didn't have, like, my body was the proof. No one still believed me. I literally had to go through almost 50 types of tests in order for them to finally see I was telling the truth that entire time. Like 50 tests. I'm not even over exaggerating. I wish I was. But Yeah, he handed the phone off to her, and then she's like, and I'm pregnant. He's like, you're nothing but an N word. And oh, if you keep calling, I'm going to file charges and we're going to take you to court. And I'm like, take me to court? I just want my money. You want him back. What? Mm, mm, for what? He has stolen from almost every job that I have known of him working. I literally had to pack up a bag because there was the car detailing job he had. If you remember that episode, you know what I had to do with that job and go to his manager or boss or whatever. Oh, he deserved to lose that job. But it's like, I was like, I never wanted to be with this guy. I only ended up sticking around because I could work on my grad school homework. I could not stand, like, there were some times where I cringed so hard because I could not stand him. Because at first he was like, oh, you're getting your second master's. Oh, that's so impressive. Like, but then once I was halfway done, ooh. And then he only wanted to date me because he wanted to steal from my parents. And then it's like, as a Christian woman, he kept threatening his life. If I didn't date him, if I didn't come over, if I didn't stay the night, if I didn't spend time with him, if I didn't have a, like, just different, whatever. Basically, he wanted me to jump when he said jump. And if that meant that he had to threaten his life, he would do that. If he had to steal from his grandmother's purse, yes. And then turn around and say, let's have a date night. And I'm like, but you're broke. But then the next thing I know, it's like, because yeah, he's yelling and having a fit. He's going outside and literally yelling. And I remember there was a Middle Eastern family that lived next door. Oh my, like, the way they would yell at him to shut up was amazing, was hilarious. But it it got to a point where I was like, fine, whatever, let's go. Like, let me finish this homework and then we can go. And sometimes he would still be upset. Why do you have to be smarter than me? Why do you have to try and be so amazing? That's so unfair. Why do you have to be so blah, blah, blah? And it's just like, shut up. And it's like, I'm only dating you because you keep threatening your life if I don't. I know I'm not that amazing. I know I'm not amazing at all. Most men talk about how I walk. Most men say no man, like my mother even says, as long as I walk like that, no one's ever going to want me, love me, or marry me. So I ended up with you. It's like, you're the only type of guy that I can date. Are the ones that threaten their lives to be with me because either they're desperate or they're bored or they're lonely. That was where I was at. And but then it was a safe place for me to do my homework, because at home, oh, you think you're doing homework, you're not going to finish that. So anyway, going through all of that, I just wanted my money. I did. I just wanted my money back. And when she threat like, I didn't get scared, but part of me was just like, if this man is so scared of, or if he can't pay me back around $300 to $400, I think it was closer to 400. I forgot the exact amount, but if he can't pay me that much, and I still remember one time I didn't go with him while he was getting a haircut, and like the haircut place called me because they ended up, yeah, like, somehow I guess they cut it wrong or slightly off or whatever, and he is yelling at them. And it's at the point where he was never allowed to go back there because the women were so scared because he was on special candy. Yeah, he went there right after getting special candy. And I think he kept moving because, like, when he is on, like, he is very rampant. He is very, it's hard to keep him still and stuff. So part of me was just like, Oh, well, one, you're stupid for being on special candy, but then two, you're really stupid because then you went to go get a haircut while on it. But then I think it was a godsend because I was working on grad school homework. I think I was at the Subway or McDonald's while he was, because I was like, I'm going to run errands, and I did not want to deal with him that day. So, anyway, I just remember, I think that was 1 or 2 weeks before I ended it for good, and he refused to pay the ladies. So I think I either went by to offer to pay it, and they told me no because they were like, no, you're a pleasure, you're so sweet, you're so nice. Whenever you're here, it's like you're the one who tries to tell him to tip. And the one time where he was trying, like, when we know that he is, well, let's just say sometimes he'll refuse to tip, but sometimes he wants to give so much money. But yeah, different story for a day. I'll tell the haircut stories because who. But I say all of that because Mr. No Heart, who, breaking up with him in 2020 was one of the best things. And I know, again, I'm never going to get married. I know no one is going to want me, love me, or marry me, but it's not for the same exact reasons. Like, part of it is my disability, but a lot of the men, they hate my education. They hate my ambition. They hate my goals. They hate that it's not just going to be me catering to them, and they don't like that. A lot of them do not like that. Or a lot of them don't like that backup I have backup emergency for my independence, because if they refuse to, like, cooperate or communicate or whatever, I can just be like, okay, I'm out. I was like, I'm out because, like, I keep hearing how the red pill men, they want to date broke women. They want broke women because when they say jump, the woman's going to jump. When they say make a sandwich, they're going to make that sandwich. When they say bend over, they want her to bend over. And I'm just like, no. And then I kept dating men who, they needed gas money, they needed grocery money, they needed just money. And Mr. No Heart paid the amount for the car. But here's the mini story. Here's a story of how, yeah, that was about to be a whole nightmare, because this same man, for I think the 5 out of the 7 years, once I started getting like one, then two, then three, then four jobs, because at the beginning of of us meeting, we were both looking for work because I got laid off, and I was working with one of my old boss friends and everything like that, kind like part time, but I still didn't have that 9 to 5 or a regular job or whatever. And he was getting out of he was finishing up his divorce and stuff like that. So, but anyway, for 2 years, it's like, or at the beginning of the relationship, he told me, I'm never going to be your white knight. I am not I am not going to save your day. I'm not going to save the day. I'm not going to help you, blah, blah, blah. But if you listen to the 3-part series, I ended up always having to save him. I ended up always having to help him. But when I need, like, part of me was just like, okay, you see, I don't need a white knight, but you say you want to be with me for the rest of your life. You say you're never going to marry me, but you want me to act like your wife. You want me to be yours forever. But when my car overheats after you broke my car, you refuse to contribute any money towards it being fixed. And then when it overheats, you tell me to call my father and hang up on me. When my mother passes away, you refuse to go to the funeral. When I end up having to have surgery and when I'm in bed in pain for months, I cannot walk. and I'm literally in pain. I'm asking you to spend time with me. I'm asking you to come over. I'm just asking you to recognize that we are in a relationship. 7-year relationship. But he kept acting like, oh well, you're with your dad. Oh yeah, it's like, well, it's like I have the girls this weekend. And you know what? It's like, but I wanted to see the oldest daughter. But then yeah, he, let's just say, for a it was just really interesting because with his, in my opinion, remember, in my opinion, his no good, racist, MAGA, bigoted, orange man supporting family, they always thought black people like deserved less than them, that we were less than them. And so, with my college degrees and with my jobs and everything, she always told me, you only got it because you're black. She's the type that thinks DEI. And she's the one who always compared me to Candace Owens, telling me that I need to think like her and always showing me videos and articles. And sometimes I'm like, okay, you don't need to show me that. I don't agree with her. Oh, no, no, but that's why I'm showing you, because I think this will help you understand how this country is and how you're supposed to think. Like, no, no, no. I know how I think. I know my opinions. And I'm not listening to that garbage. I don't listen to that informational trash that belongs in the garbage disposal. I'm not. It's like that disgusting, despicable, no good, just it. No. But every time I would see her, she would always take out her phone and show me something by Candace Owens or Fox News or The Right. And I'm just like, but then my ex told me I was not allowed to talk about politics to his family. They were allowed to talk about it with me, but I was not allowed to talk about it with them. But then he would always tell me how stupid they were. And I'm like, so he probably told them that I was stupid. He probably told them I was dumb because he would always tell me how dumb they were. And I'm just like, okay, well, if you are easily telling me your mother is stupid and dumb and idiotic and doesn't know what she's talking about this easily, yeah, you have no problem flipping it. And I say all of that because while dating and owing money and everything like that, like I've said in so many videos, like whenever, like on purpose, like I would be at his house for the weekend. And this is after working one, two, three, or four jobs. Like it depended on what year, what time of the year it was. But I was trying to save for a house. I was trying to save money for investing. I was trying to get a like amazing credit score. I'm like, let me try to get to that 800, you know. But anyway, I during 2019, I like my walking was getting so bad. I had to start you that's when I started having to use a cane. And then I started going to neurologists, and neurologists are still telling me, "Oh, walk it off. There's nothing wrong with you. Oh, we can do some blood work, but oh, and then we can do MRIs, we can do like there's so many tests. I literally had about 50 tests. But it's like I just remember I like 2019, I could hardly walk at all. And I even told him, I'm getting to a point where I don't know how much longer I'll be able to walk, so I won't be able to come over. And he was like, oh, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. And I'm in tears because I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm in so much pain. I won't be able to walk. And he's just shrugging it off. And I'm like, are you this confident that they're going to figure this out? But yeah, shame on me. I had hope in him. I had a smidgen. I knew I was going to break up with him soon, but I thought, okay, at least now he's showing that he has a heart. No, no. It was for his own selfish reasons. No. So anyway, 2019, I couldn't walk anymore. I still remember the night where I could not walk anymore. It was my last night walking, and I'm crying in pain. And so, like, I remember calling him, telling him, letting him know, and he shrugged it off like it was nothing. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, blah 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 blah." And he just acted like it was nothing, and I'm crying. And so I just remember early, let's see, I think it was like early December, I get a bill because I I was working as a teacher in the inner city, so I had insurance, but it wasn't good insurance. I remember opening up the bill and seeing the amount, and my mouth drops. And I had enough. I was like working those, hustling and working all those jobs, saving up money, investing. I was so happy. And so, and yeah, I had about 2 more years of other tests too. So let's just say, what is like, because in some other videos I've said I had to spend all of the money I saved up for a house, that like almost every penny that I saved up during that time was had to go for those tests. So when people try to say, "Oh, we don't want socialism, we don't want Medicaid for all," and but then 1/3 of bankruptcies is because of health reasons. It's like you really need to do your research. You really need to study Medicaid for all and the other countries that have it, and why. Yes, it's not perfect, but it literally saves people's lives. And it's like that situation that happened with Luigi. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I remember calling him because if you've been listening to my videos, you know he he's borrowed money for gas and stuff like that, but when his truck broke down and he needed to buy a car, he didn't have enough money for a down payment, and he wanted it that day. So he wanted me to jump when he said jump, go to the ATM, get money out, drive almost an hour to his house to give it to him so he can get his car. And I was upset because I'm just like, so you call me at this time, and you literally right now you want me to get in my car and do all of this for you right now. And I was like, I was already trying to work on stuff. I was doing stuff. And he was like, I was like, can we just do this tomorrow? Can you call them and say you're coming tomorrow? No, but I want the car now. I need it now. And he's, oh my gosh, he's having a little like, okay, he can't have a mansion because he's at the car place still or whatever, but he is whining and whining. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, whatever. So that's how we ended up with that money. And I've told, oh no, if actually I haven't told that story soon, so I will tell the whole story later. But I remember when I told him that, like December, before he was going to go up north with his daughters to go see grandma, I told him he needed to pay me back that money. I was like, it's 6 months now. And I was like, you owe me. And his response was, yeah, well, I was going to buy you a laptop for Christmas for that. Excuse me? Pardon me? What? Yeah. It's like Merry Christmas. I'm going to go to Micro Center and get you a laptop with that money. So at least you're going to have you said you want a new laptop, right? That's not a Christmas present. You better pay me back my money. Oh, yeah, but I already ordered it. You better cancel that order. How dare you? That's my money. And he was like, no, but don't you want a new, like, you do not know that, like, the audacity. Let me know if you think, like, okay, I'm going to probably need a part two, but yeah, I went off on him. And I think he already knew that we were getting close to the end of our relationship because this is when done was done. Because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how dare you? And it's like, I can no longer walk. I'm trying to get like and these are my finances. This is my money. Without my permission, with my money, you're going to spend it. You're going to spend it. So I will have a part two. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.